Now we're going to learn how to build rhythm patterns. The first one that I'm going to start with involves playing a single bass note and a chord in the right hand. We're going to use the note C, and then we're going to play over here, we're going to form a C minor 7, like that. Okay, and so the shape that I'm playing in the right hand is basically taking a C minor chord and flatting the third, or it's an E flat major triad. Okay, so we're going to take these two chords and build a rhythmic pattern. To learn the rhythm pattern, I basically learn the events, sort of like the way a drummer would do it. I think of it like this. I would play both parts together at the same time, and then the next part would be the right hand, the left hand, and then the right hand twice. So that's the first part of it. So it would go like this. You play both together, then right, left, right, right. And then to add to that, to finish it off, we're going to play left, right. That means the bass and then the chord. So in slow motion, it looks like this. Both, right, left, right, right, left, right. If you have any trouble playing it on the instrument because you're working on your fingering, if you're beginning, you can do the same thing with on your legs. You just play both, right, left, right, right, left, right. And you just practice with your hands as a rhythm. And you can do that without the stick too. So if you're just learning, that's a good way to get started, to get the rhythm going. And then eventually you can translate it over to the instrument and start forming the chord and the bass. Or even a simpler one is just to take a finger and a finger like that. That's a really nice beginning way to get a rhythm started. If you're having any trouble getting the fingers in there and you want to learn a rhythm. So like that, it would sound like this. Now with the chord. And then of course you can build on that by moving the bass back and forth between the root and the fifth. So you play both, right, fifth, right, right, fifth, right. And that would sound like this. Okay, we're going to learn another rhythm pattern. This rhythm pattern basically involves playing in 6/8. I'm going to take a D minor chord, and that's really just a drone, meaning the root, the fifth, and the third, and then play a D minor here, kind of an easy shape. And the rhythm pattern will go something like this. All right, well what's happening is, again, the hands aren't playing together on that middle part. It goes bass and chord, then I finish with these two, and then the chord, and then finish off with those two. That makes a nice rhythmic 6/8 pattern. Sounds pretty full, even though the hands aren't playing at the same time. This chord, for fun, can move D, C, B flat, C, D, which is a popular chord progression, would sound like this. Notice that I'm holding that note down too. I don't lift it off. I hold it down and let it ring. By letting this note ring out longer, it gives it a fullness, a really nice sound to fill that out. Okay, another pattern that I do is I do with eighth notes in more of a standard rhythm. I play the same shape here. I go to a D major this time. Now this is somewhat of an arpeggio as well as it is a rhythm pattern. I'm going to play these two notes with the left hand and then these two notes. Well, what happens is the basic pattern, I'm going to take the bass away for a minute, is nothing more than this. With the bass played on the first note at the same time as this, and then I can, first of all, before I actually move the chord, I'm going to just play that rhythmically, that part. Now I can move the chord. So there's a nice pattern where I'm droning this. off of a major chord. Or play it continuous. Bass in every once in a while. That actually, you can build your speed up. It sounds like a guitar, sort of like a finger picking style. Okay, so that's basically an 8-note pattern per measure, more like a guitar finger picking. Another one is a little bit of a funkier one where, say I want to play a bass line. I like this one where I play root, fifth, and then the ninth. Kind of makes a nice, that kind of a sound. And then I'll play our same chord that we did over here, the E flat major triad, that forms a C minor 7th. Now here, I'm playing the chord in between the first bass note and the second one, like that. Then I play the chord again. So I put the rhythm pattern together, I can even add a chord in between right before the last note and make it a little more funky. Slower. And you just have sort of a double like that, which is nice. If you really want to play fast, you can leave out the first chord, like. That makes it sound kind of syncopated. With all of these patterns, you can make them more complex and more interesting by moving the bass line around. So I play in the same feel instead of. That. Same thing with the original pattern, which blends in well with that one. Both right, left, right, right, left, right. I start moving the bass there as well. So I do a lot of playing where I have these combinations of rhythmic patterns. Once I learn the rhythmic pattern, then I just start to move either the chord or the bass around the rhythmic pattern, and then that gives me my rhythm that way. So again, you just basically start out with one chord, one bass, work out the pattern, and then start to move the bass around or start to move the chord. And of course, eventually you can end up with moving both. So I hope this helps.